We're going to start with the yellow, then we're going to move to the pink, which would be the magenta, and then the red, which is the Aquarius red. And just for the road, this is the cool and this is the warm. And this will be our caput mortem. For yellow, we only need one block here for the actual color. I'm just going to put my yellow there because that would be a mix of yellow and yellow. I really didn't even need that block, but I just didn't want it to start funny. I'm going to take and we're going to go right down the row. This would be our magenta. So this is just our color guide. Our red, the Terra. Yeah, that's very pretty. I really like that. So then we're back to our ultramarine blue and our phthalo blue. That's beautiful. Oh, maybe a little too, there we go. So we're just going to go down the line. Yellow, this is our first line. So yellow and yellow, magenta and yellow. Let me grab a little yellow. I'm trying to mix half and half, but when you get to the more staining colors, you're going to have to mix a little less than half and half. We're going to go red. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put some yellow here. And the trick is start with your lightest color first. Grab a little bit of your color and mix it. So see, that actually didn't have enough yellow. Some of the darker colors take over really fast. That's why you start with your light colors. It's easier to darken a light color than it is to lighten a dark color. You'll just waste paint trying to do that. So that's very nice. Grab a little yellow there. Just grab a tip of that and we'll just put that. Yeah, so do you see how that warms up your yellow to a warm yellow? Let's try even a little more. Oh, that might have been too much, but that's okay. So there's your warm yellow. You don't need to buy one. Now let's get some yellow. This yellow is so vibrant. Okay, so this is where we have to be careful. This is the phthalo, and phthalo is very potent. As you can see, the color mass is quite dark. All right, so now I'm definitely not going to put that in there. I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to just pull off. I might even blot some off my brush. Okay, so see that? I barely had any and I just blot it, but do you see the clean green you get from that? See that nice bright clean green? Aquarius green is actually a mix of colors, but we're still going to mix it. Same with the caput mortem. Try to get a clean spot here because it's good to know. So that's kind of familiar, isn't it? That's kind of similar to the ultramarine blue. All right, let's see what this caput mortem, I have a hard time saying that, caput mortem will do with the yellow. Now I'm going to set this here too because that is a very, touch that. Oh yeah, so kind of a yucky muddy brown. But you know what? There's probably a time and a space where you might need that. So that's our first row. So what we do now is we go to the next color. So right now we've mixed our yellow with everything. So we're going to put our magenta here and this will be our magenta row. We do not have to remix it with the yellow or the magenta. We know it's magenta. So we're moving down to the red. And this way you don't waste your time painting a bunch of duplicate colors because if it was up there, you would have already mixed those colors. So now we're going to go with the magenta and the red. Yeah, so you could bend that to be cooler or warmer, but definitely. So that'll be a nice bright red. We could have even maybe put a little more magenta in that, but we'll go over that later. So then we'll go to the magenta. Oh, we'll grab the Terra first, it's lighter. Oh baby, actually I'm gonna grab the magenta first. And blues. It's a little muted, but it's beautiful, very beautiful. I have to say I really, really like these paints. The magenta and a little corner of that blue. Oh yeah, look at that. In fact, that could take a little more magenta just to show you the real tone. Very similar, isn't it? That's really similar actually. I'm surprised. So because their phthalo blue is so different from the ultramarine. Try that again. Let me just see. Oh, yeah, see there, the phthalo just took over. See what happens when the phthalo takes over? Oh, but that's pretty, isn't it? The pink with the Aquarius green. Now this should be a nice dark. Oh, and it's not. Okay, so, and I haven't really looked up the pigments a whole lot on these, but normally I use, well, no, that's not true. It's the Aquarius green that's making it muddy. Normally I use green and pink, but it would be like a phthalo green, which is a clean green, yeah. So if you notice, the Aquarius green is quite but that's because it has a whole bunch of pigments in it, and then I'm adding more. Now, the magenta only has PR 122 in it, so it's definitely the green. All right, let's try our magenta with our caput mortuum. I'm just going to put that there because see how opaque that looks? Yeah, I could really see that being very useful. That really just tones it down. Now we're going to the red. So we are not going to mix red and red because it equals red. We've already mixed the red with the yellow, right? There's the red with the yellow, there's the red with the magenta. So now we're going down to mix the red with the terra. And I'm going to grab the terra first. Just a tiny bit of red, maybe a tiny bit more. I'm just touching the liquid. Oh, that's pretty. Now let's try, what are we on? The red and the ultramarine. I'm going to put the red down first just because this red really takes over. See, like it's almost like I didn't even put any in. It's beautiful. So the ultra and red, beautiful muted violet. And I don't know if you can hear that clicking in the background. That's actually my fire. We have an insert in our downstairs fireplace, so it's going because it's chilly out. Okay, so we're going to go to the phthalo blue and the red. And this, I'm definitely going to grab the red first. But that red is strong. I'm just going to put that over there. That is so... See how quick that takes over? That is crazy. And again, we're getting a very, very similar color to the phthalo. I'm going to have to look. They are so close. All right, let's move right along. So now we're going to do the red and the green. Let's start with some red. Oh yeah, that really dulls that down. So the red takes over. We could try putting a little more green, but even then, if you notice, here, let me blot that because I just want to show you this. I put a little more green. What do we have? Mud. But that's because red and green neutralize each other, but I'm going to show you how to not worry about that in our next color chart, so make sure you watch it. I mean, this is a vague idea, but the other one will help so much more. All right, enough blabbering. Red and our caput mortuum. Yeah, you know what's funny is I like this caput mortuum. Okay, so you probably know where we're going next. We did the red. Now we're going to go to the terra. So any color, you can use any colors. Just go right down and put your colors there. So now we're just skipping down to here and we'll start with the ultramarine blue. So the ultramarine blue and the terra give us this beautiful, beautiful gray. Of course, I went outside the lines, but that's the story of my life. I'm an outside the lines kind of girl. Okay, I guess I'm not a girl anymore. So we're going to go phthalo blue and terra. So I'm definitely going to grab the terra first, and I'm going to grab just a corner. Phthalo blue and terra. Okay, so you can get a warm brown. That's probably not enough phthalo in that. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so... Okay, so now I need a little green. Do you see how we're really kind of... We're really getting kind of muddy mixtures out of that green with anything else. Oh, we're back to the caput mortuum with the terra. Okay, let's grab some caput. Ooh, baby. Let me grab a little more. See, I'm really kind of trying to get more closer to a half and half. With that caput, it's really hard because it is it's very potent. Oh, but that's pretty actually. Okay. Oh, that actually makes a really nice kind of rusty color. Ultra blue. And then this will be our phthalo, and this will be our green. We don't need a caput mortuum because by the time we get here, it's been mixed with everything. Okay, so this is the two paints mixed together to give you a beautiful blue. Now this actually probably has a little more phthalo in it. I just can't keep something neat. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but that's the way it goes. All right, so now we're going to get the nice Aquarius green, and we're going to mix it with our ultramarine blue. And I think this should probably work quite nice because of course ultramarine blue is already in it. Oh, okay, that's really nice. I picked up the right green. So this ultramarine blue has a lot of red in it, and I'm wondering if it is the ultramarine blue light. I'm wondering if it has maybe less red and more yellow. I'm gonna have to look into that. Now we're gonna go the caput mortuum and the green. Grab some caput. Oh yes, so do you see? That caput mortuum is so powerful. And it really, I think it's more opaque than the other ones. It just kind of takes right over. I'm gonna grab some more blue. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, let's try this. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this might be my new black. That is beautiful. It's like a black purple. Oh, wow. But the only problem is it's granulating, so if I don't want texture, it's not going to be my choice for black. Okay, so now we're moving on to the phthalo blue. I hear my husband trying to sneak by and be quiet. He just came in the downstairs door. because that phthalo takes right over. Mind you, that green's pretty potent too. I think the pigment load on these paints is exceptional. Okay, that's, yeah, I'm gonna just put some of that there. Oh my goodness, that is nice. Okay, so see oh my goodness, yeah. Okay, and then the phthalo with the caput mortuum. Oh yeah, so do you see that? Oh my goodness. So here's another black that I absolutely love. So we only have one left, and that is the caput mortuum and the green. See, yeah, that caput mortuum, I'm telling you, it just goes in there and annihilates everything. Okay, there, put a little more green back in. Oh, that's actually nice too. It's like a warm, dark green, and you could probably add more green and get a beautiful, beautiful color for trees. Okay, so this is the first quick color chart. And as you saw when I was mixing, there's a whole different variation of colors depending on how much water, how much color. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to make a color chart that if you make this and take the time, you will have a reference you can look at while you're learning, and it will cut your path and your learning time down considerably. We're going to start with the yellow. I'm going to put my strip of yellow right here. What comes after our yellow? That'd be our magenta. So remember, I'm just kind of basing it like I did on this one, yellow, magenta, and then we're going to mix all these colors with it. So we're going to end up with a line like this in the middle, but I'll show you what else we're going to do. That means our next color is our red. So we're going to put our red in the center, right? Yes, that is much better. So this is our red, and of course our paper's wet, so I'm just going to jump down to the next one. So after the red comes the Terra. Okay, so here's our Terra, and that's just at full strength. Just not mixed with anything. So now I'm going to get rid of this, and this is where I've got two steps. So I'm going to mix half and half. I'm going to grab some of this yellow, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the Terra, a little more, and I'm going to mix that in. So I'm going to say this is probably half and half to the yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little more yellow in the mix, right? So I'm going to put that on the side of the yellow and the Terra. And then I'm going to put a little more of the Terra in, maybe even a smidge more. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the Terra, and I'm going to clean this, and I'm going to grab some more Terra, right? And I'm going to grab some of our magenta. Now I'm going to grab probably most of that Terra, and I'm going to put that right in the middle. Oh, that's actually really pretty. Okay, then I'm going to come and I'm going to add more Terra to this. And we're going to go to the Terra side. And then I'm going to grab magenta, and I'm going to lean it more towards the magenta. So you see how that's more of a dirty pink rose color? Not so magenta. Okay, let's run back and do that red. So I know I've got magenta, and I need some red. I'm going to take that red, put it in with the magenta. And I'm going to paint that middle box. Then I'm going to add some of this little red to this magenta. I'm going to put it there. So again, we have sort of like a rose. And then we're going to add a little more red back to this. So you can see how that's warmer. Okay, so let's do the yellow. So we have the yellow. And you can do more steps if you want, but oh, that's a good one right there. So I'm going to put this in the middle. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to put some more yellow into that one that we did right here. Give it more like a warm yellow. See that? That's actually a really nice yellow. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some more red in because the red, oh yeah, the red really takes over. In fact, that might have taken over too much. Yeah. See how that almost just annihilated that yellow? Let's try that. Yeah, that's much better. So you see how adding that little bit of yellow, our red is a lot warmer. And now we're going to do our ultramarine blue. And I did a little digging when I stopped for a break. And the ultramarine blue, their light ultramarine blue, is definitely has a green base to it because they have a ultramarine blue green shade. So I'm going to order the French ultramarine, and that's the ultramarine I'm used to using, which has a red undertone. Okay, so let's go with the ultramarine blue. Put some over here. I'm going to do the magenta first. Try to get maybe half. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, I should have probably put the ultramarine blue there first, but that's okay. We'll stick it in. There we go. So I'm going to get a little more. Oh, let me put that blue there. We're going to do a little more magenta first. Okay, now let's add a little more blue. Now see how that's a really cool purple? And this is the stuff that you need to know because if you only mix it half and half, you'll think, oh, okay, well, I can get that. I can't get a cool purple, but you can just by adding a little more blue. Okay, let's go to our blue and yellow. So we have our lemon yellow. Grab a little bit of that blue, a little more. Okay, put that in the middle. So that's sort of more in between, more of a neutrally blue or green, sorry. So I'm gonna add a little more yellow. Make a nice yellowy green. See, so this, oh, it helps if you don't run them together. Yeah, let's just blot that up and let me put that yellowy green down again so you can see it. There. So now we'll add some blue and we'll make it a blue-green. So that was the ultramarine, so let's do the phthalo. So this should give us a really, oh, there we go. So this really will give us a really nice spring green. Get some paint on there. So now we're gonna do the phthalo blue. And so I'll kind of speed through this. So now we're going to do the green. That's the Aquarius green. And I have to say, it's a beautiful color just by itself. We'll see how it mixes. Okay, so let's go with the yellow first. Some of these colors, even though they're muddy, you don't want vibrant colors everywhere. Okay, we'll add a little more green, magenta. Okay, let's add some yellow. Let's add some more yellow. Yeah, I absolutely love this yellow. And this, wow, this really just takes over. You could even make your squares a little bigger. I'm thinking mine might be a little small. You can make them as big or as little as you want. And these are just your raw colors out of the tube, and then the stages. Yeah, and you know what? I forgot to do the magenta. That's why I have an extra row. I'm really batting 0 today. I really am, I'm telling you. I really love these two colors together. And this should have actually been magenta. Grab some yellow, mix it with that magenta. That makes such a nice orange, a warm yellow, and then it makes more of a warm red. So now we've got the yellow, the magenta. We have this whole row done. So now our next two, you see they're smaller. We're going to do the red and the terra. So we want the red and we want the terra. So red, we got the red and the magenta right there. So if we start with the red, the space we need to go is the terra because we did all of the magenta row. So we're gonna, and that actually is terra over there. And yeah, we don't need it to be more than 3 steps. That gives you a good idea. The biggest takeaway when you do charts like these are that you can get cool colors, even from warm colors, just by adding more of a cool color. And the greens are the big takeaway, because if you just mix this chart and you think that ultramarine blue and yellow only make this green, right? Because that's what you're looking at. When you need to mix this green, you're gonna like, but I don't know how to get that green. So now you can use this and you can say, okay, what do I need? Oh, that looks sort of like the green. And you know that it's yellow and ultramarine blue, and it has more ultramarine blue than it does yellow because it's closer to ultramarine blue. We're gonna go to the ultramarine blue. Do our swatch. There we go, that's nice. So that really gives you the range. You can get cool or warm colors, just depends on which way you bend it. So if you ever hear me saying bending it to the blue or bending it to the red, that's what I mean. I'm putting more of that color in to make it more that color. Okay, so that's pretty neutrally sort of in the middle brown. And don't be afraid if it looks a little too close to just kind of mix a little more in. What do we have? We have the phthalo. Put that right there. See, there it is closer to the blue, and there it is closer to the red. Oh, baby. Okay, that, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really close to that. That is very dark, so let's add a little more brown. See how it's a little darker brown? To dull it down. So after the blue, we have the green. Put a little more red in. And we'll add lots of green. Kind of an ugly brown. I'm not a fan of brown. I don't know if you've noticed. There we go. And last but not least, we have Caput Mortuum. Wow, I am just amazed every time I do that how bad it takes over. Okay, that is so pretty though. I love that mixed with that, and that's a granulator. You could get some really nice effects with that. And that's very pretty right there. Kind of maroon, but a dulled down maroon. So you can see where it's a different tone. So now we are moving on to ultramarine blue is our main color. phthalo blue. Our ultramarine blue has been done with those, and we're obviously not going to do it with ultramarine blue. So we'll do the phthalo just in the middle, right here, and then we'll add some of our warmer blue. So we're gonna make like a half and half mix right here. We'll add some more ultramarine. See how that's not quite, it's a little more dulled down. And it's hard to see a huge difference between these, but you can see where it is a deeper concentration. Okay, our green here. So I'll have one there and one there. Take this nice green, a little ultramarine blue. Now this makes a beautiful blue. Okay, so that's more towards the green. Let's try a little more blue. There we go. See how it even gets bluer. So now it's phthalo blue. Look at that. Very nice. So this is if we mix more green into it. We're going closer to the green side. I think this green's going to be really useful. That is beautiful too. So here we come with the blues. All right. More blue. So now all of a sudden we can get this color with it. You can even expand these and make more steps if you want. Yep, look at that. When I first started out, every time I got a new pan of paint, I would add it. And I'm hoping that I can instill that in you because it makes such a big difference. You will progress a lot faster if you can look at a chart and say, oh, right, that was the magenta and the yellow, but more magenta. So there it is. This is just a quick beginner chart to kind of get to know your colors and a little bit of what they can do. And this is a great place to start if you're really tired or you're overwhelmed or you haven't really used paints a lot. This is great because you can kind of start to mix them and play with them. But once you're ready to start painting, I recommend that you do one of these ones because this is going to tell you what the different steps are. If you're bending it towards yellow or if you're bending it towards pink. It dries, I label it. So we know this is caput mortuum and this is green. So I've got those, and then when this is dry, I'll go down the center. So we know this is ultra blue, blah, 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 blah. So this way, by doing it like this, we have every color mixed with every color. So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we will see you in the next one.